It's about 5:30 in the morning. I had to wake up extra early today because I have extra shit to do today on top of my laundry and my shopping for the week. But I'll get into that in a minute. Sorry to anyone that was expecting a video last week. Obviously, it was a holiday, so I had a couple days off from work that were paid, so decided to go to Lexington, see my friends and my family. Had a grand old time. Spent the 4th at Versailles Brewing Company with Dez. Well, now I gotta specify because there's two Dezes. With Desiree, who works there as the master brewer. With Destiny and Derek and Ryan and Randy. They had a pretty big fireworks show that was pretty fun. And then afterwards, me, Ryan, and Derek had a Roman candle fight. And then as soon as I ran out of ammo, Derek took a knee and started really taking aim, and he almost hit me 3 times. Saturday, I had the loveliest dinner with someone very, very special to me. We just talked and talked for like 3 hours, and we were almost the last people there. We just lost track of time. It was awesome. Looking forward to the next one. It sounds like I'm not excited about any of that. It's not because I'm not, it's because I'm tired as fuck. This weekend's been taxing. So, on to this weekend. I'm still having the issue with the AC, so I'm swapping the fuse out every day, basically. 2 nights ago, I swap out the fuse so that I can sleep in my car here in the parking lot. And I realized that the hood isn't closing all the way. The latch is malfunctioning. So I try fucking with it for a little bit. And it's not working. Great. So I order a couple parts. I order a new latch, which is back there somewhere. And then while I was at it, I was just like, I'm going to go ahead and order, one of those lift arm pistons, because mine's out. It doesn't hold the trunk up. I've just been using a big pipe to hold my trunk open. Then while I'm there, while I'm on the way to get the parts, and I'm driving under the speed limit to ensure this doesn't happen, but it's so fucking windy here that a gust of wind caught the front of my car and my hood flipped up and it cracked my windshield. Look, I'll literally just show you. So the corners are bent and the crack's right here. So, oh, and I forgot to mention, 2 weeks ago when the AC problem started happening, remember I pulled the fuse for my emergency lights and I forgot to put it back when I bought a pack of new fuses. So when my hood flipped up and cracked my windshield, I'm going like 40 miles an hour. I had to slam on my brakes because I couldn't fucking see. And then my emergency lights weren't working. They are now. I fixed it. And the guy behind me almost hit me. And this whole time I'm on the phone with Apple support trying to figure out why I'm locked out of my Apple Pay. It's because I changed addresses. And I got all that figured out too, so don't worry. But the guy on behind me almost hits me and he's like honking at me, and I'm on the phone with this lady who's like trying to help me. And I'm just like, I just start swearing at him as loud as I can. And then I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't talking to you. And then I explained the whole situation, and she was like, oh my God. So yeah, that's what happened. So today, I'm gonna, I've decided that, what I really don't want to have happen is that I switch the latch out, and then it ends up being the cable that's still broken. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Walmart this morning. Here in 30 minutes it opens. I'm gonna go knock out my shopping for the week, and I'm going to go ahead and get a pack of zip ties. The hood's zip tied right now to make sure that doesn't happen again. That way, if I have to work on it and then I need something else, I can just close the trunk and re-zip tie it and then travel safely, get whatever I need back here to the parking lot and continue working on it. And then at 7 a.m., my storage unit opens. And then there, I'll do all of my replenishments and I'll grab any extra tools that I need. And then at 8 a.m., AutoZone opens, where I can get the cable for the hood mechanism. And then I was gonna meet Jessica and Enrique and Enrique's son, who I haven't met yet, out for breakfast. They wanted to show me a Mexican alcoholic beverage that is milk-based, which I was kind of excited to try. But obviously I have priorities right now. So I just texted her and told her to go without me. I'm going to start working on all of this. And then when she gets done with that, she's going to take me to a junkyard and get a new trunk. And if that doesn't end up happening, I'll just get a trunk next weekend. The trunk still works. It's just bent up. It looks ridiculous. It's not going to look as... It doesn't look as ridiculous as it's about to look, because I'm definitely going to have to get a trunk that is off color with the rest of the car. Hopefully it's black or something neutral like the gray it already is. You know, but thankfully it's like something that's symmetrical to the car, so it's not going to look super bad. I think getting like a door or one fender off color, I would want to paint it immediately. You know, it's things like this that make you realize you have to approach life with good humor. It's funny. I'm not hurt. I'm fine. Yeah, it sucks. It's going to set me back a little bit. I'm going to have to probably work a little bit past first frost to get everything in order. And I'll probably have to get a little bit of a bigger loan and put some of my pocket money more towards the stuff that's outfitting the inside of the box truck. But that's fine. We'll make do with what we've got. Gotta press forward. Gotta persevere. Got no other option. Other than that fiasco, I went to a few places to eat this weekend that were nice. One of them was a bar. So I ended up getting the new gym membership because it's 24 hours on the weekends, which is more accustomed to my schedule and the flexibility that I need. However, I guess there's a caveat. I guess the reason Planet Fitness doesn't do 24 hours anymore is because they don't want to spend the money to staff for that time period. And I guess this place doesn't either, because I buy the membership online, right? So I go there at night to check it out. And apparently you have to go show your face and sign in and get a RFID tag to get entrance into the door. Right? So I passed by this bar on the way there, and it has all these lights outside and the building's huge, and I was like, maybe I'll stop there for dinner. That's what I'll do. I go to the gym and I can't get into the door because I didn't know about the RFID thing yet. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just come back tomorrow at a reasonable time when there's a staff member here. So I go to this bar, and I'm like, the entire time, I'm like, why is this building so fucking big? And I go in, and it's like Marika's, if you've ever been there. For those of you all that don't know, like Ray and Teresa. Marika's is a bar in Lexington that's really big, and it's because it's a full bar, and then they also have like 6 or 7 volleyball courts. Some of them outside sand pits, some of them inside sand pits. So it's like that, except instead of volleyball, they have 2 full-size hockey rinks, which was fucking cool. There's a league. I don't think I'm going to sign up or anything because I'm going to have to buy a bunch of equipment to do it. But I just thought the idea was super awesome that I could get drunk and then go play hockey. Yeah, and then the next morning I woke up at a reasonable time to go check out the gym, and apparently they don't staff on weekends at all. Which is like, well, shit, I'm only available on the weekends to go get my RFID tag. So I sent them a strongly worded email. Not really strongly worded, but I was a little frustrated. I'm trying to figure out how to get my shit that I already paid for. So I ended up just going to Planet Fitness this weekend, and I guess I'll be having 2 gym memberships until this Friday. I'm off of work. I took off to get my dental, my LASIK, not full LASIK, just the, what do they call it? The, I guess like the pre-qualification examination or whatever. There's a more technical term for it, but whatever. And then I was also going to get my emissions test on my car. But now I'm seriously considering how much of all of that I'm going to be able to get done, considering how much of the hood work that I get done today. At the very least, I'm going to have to figure out the latch cable situation, because I'm still opening my hood every day to switch the AC fuse out, which is a necessity. So that's not really an option. If I don't get the trunk today, I'm gonna hold off on getting this installed, just because there's no point. I don't want that to break on the old hood. And then also I need to get my car looked at about the AC, so I can stop switching the fuses out all the time. Or I could just keep doing the fuse thing, because honestly it's going to be cheaper than whatever this AC problem is. It's probably the clutch on my AC compressor. I don't know. I don't want to fuck with it. I don't want to take it apart. It's a bunch of pressurized refrigerant and shit. I don't want to fuck with it. And come to think of it, I recently decided to quit all of my vices. Like things like drinking. Not only does it save money, but it also, like, I go through these cycles where I'm trying to build discipline. And something uncontrollable like this always fucking happens every time I quit all of my vices at once, because it's almost like God is trying to stress me out as much as I can to make me fold on my commitment. But I'm not going to. And then I went to Harbor Freight also and picked up an inverter. It's super cheap. It's not expensive at all. And what that's basically going to allow me to do is to stop carrying a backpack inside every day and charging a battery bank. Because if I'm sleeping with the car on anyway, I might as well just install an inverter back there and have all my stuff plugged into it. And then when the car's on and I'm running the inverter so it's not draining my battery because the alternator's running, I can have my alarm clock and my fan. And that's basically all I run. And then on the weekends, if I have to, I can plug in my laptop, which is at most 65 watts, which isn't gonna, this says it's a 400 watt. The guy I took it to yesterday to get my remote start, he said it's probably closer to 100 because it's a cheaper model, and he could tell by the weight. It seemed cheap. But all of my electronics that I plug in, if I do the laptop, it's right around 100 watts. So it shouldn't be an issue. It's actually good that I got that too, because 9 times out of 10, my battery bank doesn't last me an entire sleep cycle where I sleep like 5.5, 6 hours. It usually dies before then, and I'm having to rely on the alarm clock on my phone anyway, which is what I was trying to avoid doing. Because it's just so easy to wake up and, God, I look like shit. Most places where you go get your car worked at, they have specialists that deal with these systems because of how specialized it is and the regulations behind refrigerant especially. But I went ahead and got the remote start put on my vehicle because I had an appointment, and even though this shit happened right before that appointment, I decided to just bite the bullet. I'm not going to cancel it. Go ahead and get that done. That way, when I'm ready to take my nap on my break, I can just start my car from inside, and the door will remain locked, and nobody will drive off of my vehicle. They quoted me at like less than $400 to install this, but I'm fairly certain I could do this, because what it is it's literally just, I would just have to get cables, like 8 gauge, I think is what he said he was going to use. I would use a higher gauge cable if I were planning on swapping it out with a bigger inverter later, but I'm not. I'm only planning on having this car up until probably Christmas, and then I'm giving it to my cousin, Kyle, so that he has something to drive for his senior year. It seemed important, and also I got the car free from Kenny and Margaret, so it just seemed fitting. Like, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to make a profit off of it. That just seems unethical. But the good news is when Kyle gets the car, it's going to pretty much be a brand new fucking car, you know? I got brand new tires. It's going to have a new hood. I replaced the battery, what do you call it? I'm just blanking because I'm tired. The little pump that pumps the windshield wiper fluid. I replaced that. Obviously, I'm going to leave the tow kit that I got in the car because the box truck is going to require a bigger one. I'm going to replace the brakes before I give the car away. And then I was planning on going ahead and just swapping out, replacing the entire suspension, because the suspension sucks. It's noisy. Doesn't really help when you go over bumps. And it's not going to be super expensive to just buy the parts and do it myself. I've done every part on a suspension at least 100,000 times. And I've got a buddy who owns a mobile mechanic, like, business that I can just go to. He'll get me a discount on the parts, and then we'll just hang out, have some beers, knock it out in a day. Depending on when I have time throughout the day to edit this video, I might have an update on the trunk ready to post. Might not. Maybe I'll just give you all a cliffhanger. Actually, funny thing, you know where the term cliffhanger comes from? It's back in France. Alexander Dumas was coming out with a weekly periodical on the Count of Monte Cristo. Because at the time, it was fashionable to have periodicals and have a constant stream of income instead of just selling a novel, which fluctuates depending on its popularity. So what you would do is you would post, like, you know, a few pages or a chapter every week in the weekly newspaper, or in a weekly newspaper. There were several at the time. And he literally had the character hanging off of a cliff at the end of one of them, which is where we get the term cliffhanger. A little fun fact for you, a little trivia. Hopefully I'll have an update on that trunk for you all before I post this video, but if not, don't text me and ask me. I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be a cliffhanger. It's going to be great. The problem with trying to record these things in one take is that I inevitably always forget something that I want to mention. But it gives you the added benefit of less edit work later. But just a couple more thoughts while I'm here at Walmart. I'm also trying to figure out a solution to where I can backpack off of these, what would you call them? These air distributor manifolds under the seats. Because, you know, when you push the mode function on your car and it shows the arrow pointing at the feet, there's 2 areas that it comes out. Well, I guess technically 4, but there's 2 in the front, and then there's 2 under the seats that go to the back. Since I just use that area for storage, over here it's my dirty laundry, and then over here it's my fishing stuff. I want to figure out a way to use like a vinyl tubing and some elbows and stuff, and then I want to take that and run it up the middle beams here, and then over the back, and then probably drill some holes down into the trunk. Because whenever I go back there for my nap, even when I come out here 30, 45 minutes earlier, start the car, blast the AC, and then turn on my fan, and then I'll put my fan in the crevice I crawl into so it blows the air into the trunk. Even when I do that, it's still hot as fuck back there, and it takes me a minute to fall asleep because of it. So I was figuring, if I don't use these anyway, why don't I just go ahead and make a temporary, a temporary apparatus to where I can channel air directly into the trunk. And then maybe I will have to rely on my fan so much. So that's another reason why I might cancel, you know, all my dental and vision and shit next week. I can always reschedule that. I've got plenty of time to get that done. But now that the trunk and probably the AC compressor is going to set me back, I need to make the car a little more sustainable. That way, as we go past the first frost and it gets cold out. Being cold is way easier than being hot, I think. I know mom's worried about it or whatever because it gets so cold here. But the thing is like when it's hot, you have to use AC. It's the only thing you can do. When it's cold, you can always add more layers. My sleeping bag's rated to 0 Fahrenheit. I can always layer up more clothes. And obviously I can run the car with the heat on. It's really not an issue. Plus, I like the cold more than the heat anyway. Come to think about it though, with that in mind, I'm gonna have to get some sort of vinyl tubing solution that is rated for the heat that'll be coming out. Although I guess I could just not run it at full heat because it's not really necessary. I can always run it at like 75. Actually, this last winter, my first winter here, when I was still living at the house, I was on my way to work and I popped. Well, let me go back because it's actually a better story than the one I was going to tell. The front passenger tire, I popped it once, got it replaced at this place, and then 6-7 months later, it's the middle of winter. It's the coldest day I've ever experienced. It was negative 20 Fahrenheit. It's like 6 in the morning. I'm on my way into work. And the tire pops, again, the exact same one that I just paid for, brand new tire. And I'm like, shit. So I get out of the car to fix it. And, you know, winter in Lexington is way different because I don't always wear gloves in Lexington. I like cold and it's really not that necessary. But in Chicago, holy shit, it is 100% necessary to wear gloves. Because it's negative 20 Fahrenheit. 32 Fahrenheit is freezing. It's negative 20 Fahrenheit. And I get out of the car and I try to use my car kit. This is the reason why I got all that extra shit. I tried to use the breaker bar that's equipped with the vehicle. Not only did my hands freeze immediately, and I had to get back into the car. I'm talking like painful cold. But the wheel also wouldn't come off. None of the nuts would loosen. So I ended up having to call a mobile mechanic to come out just to get my fucking wheel off, which is an embarrassment because I have a mechanic background. But the kits that come with these cars are just dog shit. The rod's like that long, you know? And he ended up having to use a breaker bar that was 18 inches. Which I have in here now. It's also my primary self-defense weapon until I get my FOIC card. It's just a steel pipe. So then I took it back to the same garage I got the last one at, and I was like, you all didn't torque my tire onto spec because I had to pay $100 to get someone to come take the wheel off. And they contested it, and I was like, I know how cars work, jackass. But maybe they were right. You know, sometimes the extreme cold can make different types of steel shrink at different rates and they can seize together, whatever. But yeah, anyway, long story short, as long as I'm equipped with extra layers, you can always layer up. I could even sleep with the car off just to save the gasoline, but I'm not gonna do that because it's stupid. Actually, Jessica raised a very good point. I eat a fruit cocktail 5 days a week, and none of those fruit have vitamin C, which I'm not getting. So I'm gonna switch out one of my days with mandarin oranges. Additionally, I've been pretty good about the not chewing my nails, but now I'm running into the issue to where I have to clean them. You know, because I've never had nails this long before, so I gotta get a nail brush as well. Another thing about the cold, now that I think about it, is that, like, it's not like it's gonna get cold all of a sudden and it's gonna throw me off track or anything. It's gonna gradually get cold, especially at nights, you know? So it's like I'm already gonna be adapted to it over time. So I really don't think there's any need to worry. Mom, you raised a fucking savage. I'll give you that. I'm probably just gonna try to put the latch on first, but go ahead and get the cable. That way, if it's just the latch, I don't have to pull out the fucking battery, the battery plate, the air intake manifold, the air filter, and an inlet hose. I don't want to do all that. So pray for me. Hopefully it's just the locking mechanism. If it's not, whatever, I'm gonna have to do all that shit and I'll have the cable ready to go anyway. I won't have to, you know, put everything back together and then zip tie my trunk shut and then drive all the way to Schaumburg to get the cable. Looks like there's not a cloud in the sky today, which means I'm gonna wanna do this in the shade. While I was in town for the 4th too, I got super drunk one night and I ended up buying me, Jake, and Zach pit tickets for System of a Down here in Chicago, which is a band that we grew up listening to together, and they haven't toured since like 2006. They've been on a hiatus because they had some disagreements about pay, and this might be the only time they tour. And I was gonna get us tickets earlier, but I didn't really have the money for it at the time. So when I went to buy the tickets when I was in town, pit tickets were the only things available. So I went ahead and splurged out for my boys. And if you guys watch this, I would recommend going to the eye doctor and getting a set of contacts just for the show. Because I've been seeing some of the video coming out from the shows they've been playing in like Brazil, and the pit is fucking wild. You don't want to be wearing glasses because not only are you probably gonna break them, but you might never find them again. So yeah, looking forward to that. Always nice to have something to look forward to. That is August 31st. Make sure you guys ask off. Very important. I'll probably get you all a hotel in St. Charles, because that's where the best bar scene is, depending on how much time you all have to spare. And then we can just take a train into town. You don't want to be driving anyway. Plus, if I put you up in St. Charles, then you can avoid a lot of the Chicago area traffic. You can stay along the periphery. You can get access to the highways faster, get home faster, get here faster. Quick detour to IHOP real quick so I can get some calories in me. Ordered some to-go food because I'm tired as fuck and I need the energy to work on this car. I got a breakfast burrito, you know, because it has like protein and carbs and shit. Try not to eat anything with syrup very often. I always have to drink milk whenever I eat something with syrup because it's so rich it makes me nauseous. Which reminds me, help me settle a bet. If you see this, comment for me and let me know what you prefer over French toast waffles or pancakes. I'm not going to tell you what my preference is because I don't want to sway anybody. But I just have to make sure that I'm not in the minority on this one. Just got all of my replenishments done. Put my guitar back. Which reminds me, I also messaged maybe like 4 or 5 people on Facebook after some research about starting vocal lessons. It seems like most places only do them during the weekdays. But you know, I would prefer just to have a one-on-one session with someone inside of their house anyway. I don't want to pay some third party just to basically host a room for somebody who's doing all the work, you know? I've taken vocal and piano and violin lessons before. But I'm trying to get back into it. Just become a more confident singer. That way I can start doing some open mics, start recording some of the work that I've been writing for the past 10 years. Actually, I have 4 entire albums completely written, but now I'm in the process of, you know, deciding what songs are my strong suits and which are my weaker ones, which ones need to be edited and worked on. And then out of all of the songs across the entire array of the 4 albums, which ones would actually work better together to create a more consistent narrative, and figure out how I'm gonna organize the albums so that they can tell different interlocking stories. So all of that's very exciting. I've been working on it for 10 years now. When I have the box truck, I'm planning on moving all of my recording equipment that I have back into Kentucky back into there. That way, whenever I'm living out of it and I have downtime, I can start committing some stuff to track. So I have all of the tools I need to get this trunk out of the junkyard in one bag that I can just carry with me there through the junkyard. Hopefully the information that I got on the internet is accurate and all of the bolts are 12mm. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to walk back to the car to get another size. I wasn't planning on recording this far into the day, but I just can't stop thinking about things to keep talking about. I don't know how well it's gonna be edited, again, because I woke up at 5 in the morning and I'm tired, and this situation is a little frustrating, to be honest with you. But we're gonna get her done. I'm gonna wait for Jessica to get done at breakfast with her family. I'm probably gonna go ahead and start editing this video just to get most of the work out of the way. And then I think I'm gonna drive over to her place. Her driveway is shaded. Where I'm at now, you only have shade until about noon when the sun's the highest in the sky. At her house, the driveway is completely shaded by trees. So I think I'm gonna drive over there and meet her there, and then we'll just take her truck to the junkyard to get the trunk, and then I'll just finish the job there in the parking lot. And then once I get the car fixed, all I have left to do for the day is to go to the gym and take my shower and then do my laundry. And then I get to take a really good nap, hopefully, before my shift. But the good thing is even if I don't get to take a nap, it's just one shift that I'm working, and then it's my sleep until my next job. And again, it'll feel sort of like a short week because I'm off on Friday originally to get all that other shit taken care of, but I'm probably just gonna put more work into this car. I am a god. The only issue is it's a little jank. I do have to come out here and pull up. Oh, hang on, that wasn't supposed to happen. Got the new arm installed. Didn't have to do the cable. New latch.
New hood. It's not coming up. It's good. It is a little jank. That cable might be bad, but that's not really my concern right now. Also, you're supposed to have to lift that. That's not happening. But as long as my hood doesn't fly up, I don't care. And that's definitely not happening. The color's a little bit different. This one's like one shade darker of gray than this one, but can't really tell. I mean, it looks nice. Super excited, I got the new hood on. I'm gonna keep the cable just in case I have a malfunction. I already have it. I won't have to go through the hassle of returning it, getting the malfunction, going back to the store to buy something that I already own. I'm just gonna throw it in my storage unit. It was only like $20. The hood itself was $120. A factory new one is $625. So I saved about $500 on that. Big shout out to Jessica. She helped me she drove me there. She helped me take the fucker off. She helped me carry it through the entire junkyard, several hundred feet, to the exit. And then she helped me drive it back to the house and put it on the car. You literally can't buy friends like that. But yeah, that's about it. I'm here at Planet Fitness. I'm gonna take my shower, head to the laundry, and then when my laundry's drying, I'm gonna get some food. When everything's done, I'm gonna finish editing the last little bit of this video. I've already done the bulk of it. Post it, drive to work, go to sleep, wake up and do it all over again. So stay tuned next week. I'm gonna do some more, things on my car. I'm gonna try to install that inverter. I'm gonna get the AC looked at, and then I'm gonna try to figure out a solution for channeling the air back into the trunk using some sort of hose apparatus. But yeah, I guess probably the worst weekend I've had here yet, but feel super fulfilled and accomplished in completing everything in one day. If I had went through insurance, this would have taken a whole week, and I would have been living out of a fucking rental without any of these amenities. And probably would have ended up spending more money, honestly. But yeah, stay tuned. Thanks, bye.